One of the biggest misconceptions parents and their kids have about double bass auditions is this idea that auditions are won purely by beautiful playing. A few years ago, I took a Boston lyric opera audition. I remember hearing another bassist warming up and thinking, there's no chance that I'm going to advance at this audition. Honestly, he sounded fantastic, but oddly, I made the sub list and he didn't advance. At the time, I was so confused. It took me years of performing professionally and teaching advanced students to fully realize something important. High-level auditions are often not won by the most beautiful sounding player. They are won by the player the committee trusts the most. When professional orchestra committees hear 30-plus bassists play excerpts like Beethoven 5 or Mozart 40, they are often listening for things like whether each note can be clearly heard, whether the rhythm is completely reliable and coherent, whether or not the articulations are interpreted the same way consistently throughout the excerpt with identical note lengths, whether the playing lines up cleanly with the rest of the section and other parts. Like, is there an understanding of how the excerpt fits into the greater context? Also, is this player likely to execute at this level the same way every time across all of the repertoire, not just a few? That means that auditions are a setting where precision is often rewarded over personality. It's literally a microscope-like environment. Because in a professional orchestra setting, consistency is king. And this is something I work on constantly with advanced students. Recently, I worked with a very talented 10th grade bassist who already had a great bottesini, wonderful vibrato, excellent phrasing instincts, and ridiculously impressive musical maturity for his age. But when we worked on the Mozart 35 finale, one of the biggest things we focused on was clarity and definition in the sautier stroke. He could absolutely play the excerpt, no issue. But at higher levels, the Hofner finale is no longer about whether you have the ability to play the excerpt or not. It's about whether the committee can clearly hear every single note pop out of the instrument with a solid core tone, while simultaneously maintaining a very strict sense of rhythm with no variation in the tempo. That is often the difference between a very talented player versus the player who actually ends up winning the audition.